All right, this one is a Salty Army intelligence report. One, salutes in chat, that's a small letter O and the number 7 for Gonzalo Lira. If he is still a Chilean citizen, if we should get in touch with Chile and tell them, see if they have any information on them. It wouldn't hurt for somebody to open up a rapport with them, especially if they are, say, Spanish-speaking individual. So then the next thing is, so you'll want to look up an article in a college newspaper called the Daily Emerald. It's at one of the colleges that you will find is a nexus of super leftism, and really, I think it's a nexus of kind of bringing people up to a certain level so that they could become a part of the zombie army of leftists who ruin everything. But especially I think the U of O Law School is one of these now, that it's this place that you could just produce 1,000 people to write 1,000 documents, to me. This has been one of the colleges that's been at the forefront of trying to take away everybody's property rights and bankrupt the government, have the government bankroll climate change research and climate change quote-unquote scientists. They're one of the gender twister kind of ultra hubs, and really it's an ultra hub of it. And when you get kind of an understanding of the local area, it would be looking up photos of something called the Country Fair. You'll kind of get an understanding, and you're like, wait a second, these are kind of the goofball licentious weirdos. And it's like, yes. At first it was cute. For a long time they kept it. It was local and kind of quirky and even a little adorable. But they decided they wanted the whole nation to be like them because they really think that they're smarter than everybody here. Because the Democrats have made it kind of this nice little shire. And they don't also realize that it's because they have this incredibly politically moderate Scandinavian descended population that everything here was so nice and peaceful and everything. And but they're very politically moderate. So that when it comes to any social problems, they actually don't know how to deal with them. And then, as I mentioned in one of my videos today, they are suffering from multi-generational trauma of hard drug abuse and the deaths thereof, and the problems that those spread, and the dysfunctionality it spreads, and the breaking up of families and all that it causes, and yeah, so. And there's, what can you do? I mean, it takes generations to resolve that. and God willing, that will happen. So, you'll want to look up this Daily Emerald article on spring break in Ukraine about a Professor Blazak, going to Ukraine. You might just find it kind of interesting to kind of get a sense of what end of the culture is willing to help neo-Nazis. They're praising the EU, another thing that was created literally by the man who created the Nuremberg race laws, is the person who wrote the legal structure and then created the legal structure of the EU. That now, I mean, we're really seeing, the educated class sticks with the educated class, because all the Nazis and fascists were highly educated people who really wanted to shape the world a certain way because they thought they were better than everybody. They thought this in a very kind of at a certain personal level, and then they found a whole bunch of people who agreed with each other that they all were really the people who should rule the world, and that was a major part of what was going on there, and that they should, because of course they were the educated. This was the new form of blessed, or whatever. That's all it was, and it didn't give them any reason that they were better at running society than anybody else. But that's what a lot of people here think. And in seeing this article, you'll kind of get a sense. It just so you get how they write to each other for each other, how they advertise. How they advertise their religious missions, really, is what it is. It's a religious mission. And I had seen it passing by a few times. Let's see, let's take a look, see. I think I'll take a little look-see at it while seeing what's going on the old YouTube about what's going on today in the world. In the world. All right. Ooh, boy. Oh, I love this. I love this time of the year. Really a spring child. So I like getting up early, and I like it when and the sun's out with you, and you're like, yeah, sun. Ooh, you know. All right. So time for me to mess with some other things. Oh, look, they're getting all the little children to write cards to the Ukrainians. That's so nice. Or something. Who even knows? What? It just... I mean, you know, there's this part of me that's like, hey, they're trying to do good. You know, and there are people who, I mean, they're helping the citizens, and that's good. That is good. That is, yeah, there's no way around that. If you're helping citizens displaced by warfare, but I mean, really, a lot of, like, I'm amazed to see that this area just fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. I remember standing there, seeing somebody wearing a Ukrainian flag, wearing the that eagle symbol or whatever, gull symbol or whatever. You know, the one that you will see everywhere. You know, the one that's more official is, you know, the blue and gold, and it's just this part of me. I'm like, nobody here has any idea even where that place is. And literally, this person is standing there, masked up during COVID. I'm just like, holy shit. And it was this part of my mind, like, in a place rife with anti-Nazis, you can walk around and nobody would even know. These people are so unaware of their surroundings in the world outside of the Shire. They had no idea all the whole Nazi thing with Ukraine, and that, like, we recruited the Nazi government in exile. Or no, Axis. It was an Axis government in exile. Really, I should say Axis, because whatever their system was would have been unique to them. I have to remember, National Socialism was Germany. Fascism was Italy. The Young Turks had their movement. All of these, you know, Israel had its own fascist movement. Yeah, and so that's, so I just have to remember, they all have their own form of it, is the thing. Okay, later.